Hey there, Aquarius. Welcome to your reading for the week of January 10th. We're going to jump right in here, and we are going to do a Celtic cross, even though it doesn't look like a Celtic cross. This is how we're going to do it. And there's also going to be a part 2 to this reading, which you can find at the link down below in the comments. It's also going to be at the end of the video pinned somewhere. So you can watch part 2 where we're going to dive deeper into the energy that's going on here, Aquarius. But let's see. You start off with the moon, and some of these cards are in reverse. I don't read reversals. I read intuitively. But you have this moon card coming up first. The moon is a card of illusions, fantasies, things like that. I just get like deep thinking. I think that the moon, I'll show you, there's this dog and the coyote right here, or a dog and a wolf, whatever you want to call it. Some people say coyote, some people say wolf, whatever, doesn't matter, tomato, tomato, right? But what I would say is that the dog kind of represents the, domestic side of ourselves. There you go. It kind of represents the domestic side of ourselves. The wolf represents like the wild side, our wild side. And there's something here in your reading. There's something here that wants to kind of come out. And it might be your wild side for sure, because it's like a very inside the box reading. I don't mean this in a bad way, by the way. I'm not saying you're inside the box, Aquarius. And again, part 2, we're going to clarify this and go much deeper than this in part 2. But what I would say is for now, it's kind of like a little bit of a wild side thing where I feel like you're trying to let out your wild side. There is like an element of control in this reading. The moon, like we think of the full moon and like people go crazy during the full moon. And I'm not saying you are going crazy, but there's like an element of trying to control your mental state going on in this reading as well. Some of you literally could be doing that. For others, I feel like there's something that's being pointed out to you. Like maybe you're thinking, I want to be more positive. There's nothing wrong with that, right? That's definitely a good thing, Aquarius. I feel, but there's something here about like your mental state it keeps popping into my head, it keeps popping into my brain, and I can't stop thinking about it now. So I feel like for some of you, it's like maybe you're trying to control your emotions or use your emotions to create a better life. And again, there's nothing really wrong with that. In your crossing energy, you have the 4 of Pentacles, and the crossing energy can be something that hurts you or helps you. It's like the way that I'm seeing this 4 of Pentacles is it's almost like there is something that's very stable. You see he has these 2 pentacles below his feet, and it's like they're very stable, those 2 pentacles. And then he's got a pentacle on his head and a pentacle on his heart. I feel for some of you, I'm really focused on that heart energy. He's like holding that pentacle like this over his heart, and I feel like your heart is pulling you in one direction, but I feel like the head and the feet are connected in this reading. It's almost like there's something that makes a logical sense in your life that is like grounding you in a location, right? It could be your job, it could be your children, it could be a spouse, it could be anything, right? I feel like something logically kind of makes sense. I feel like your heart is somewhere else, is what I'm getting here. And I'm not saying you're leaving your children or anything like that, okay? That's not where I'm going with this. But what I am saying is maybe you're going to take your children with you somewhere else. Your heart belongs to something else. And I keep hearing those words popping into my head. It could be another person. And again, I say this because you have the Queen and the King of Swords here. And again, it doesn't matter what gender you're attracted to. But what I would say is that the Queen and the King of Swords can represent divine counterparts. But to me, they're divine counterparts who are not on the same page. So if you're, as far as love is concerned, some of you could be with a person, but maybe your heart belongs to another person, or whatever you want to call it. Take it how it resonates. Or again, you could be, maybe you're divorced, but maybe your heart belongs to another person. But for those of you who are not interested in love, again, I feel like this is like work or where you live. It's like you're being drawn to something, another location. That could be literally like you're moving, but that could also be more like figuratively as well. It could say that you're being pulled towards another job or another career. In the area of your thoughts, you have the 6 of Cups. Number one, I don't really feel your thoughts are on the past. The 6 of Cups is a card of nostalgia. It's like a card of thinking about the past. But I feel it's more saying your thoughts are on happiness and also a turnaround. Here's the thing, is that I read holistically. I take like the whole picture into account when I'm reading the cards and everything around it. This is part of the reason I don't read reversals, because I don't really need to. Number one, I read intuitively, but number two, what I would say is that I take everything into account. So, the story makes sense. But what I would say here with the Six of Cups is that the Six of Cups can represent a turnaround. It can represent some sort of obstacle being lifted in your life. Maybe you've tried to move before. You've tried to get into a relationship with a person before. There was an obstacle in the way. So it's like your thoughts are on the removal of the obstacle that is whatever your goal is here in this reading, whatever your heart belongs to. Next, in the area of your foundation, you have the Queen of Swords. I kind of feel like you've made up your mind on this because this would be you here, Aquarius. And it's like your back is to the past. You know, she finally sees things clearly. Her head is above the clouds on the card. She is the first court swords card where her head is above the clouds. So it's like she finally sees things clearly, and I really feel like this is you in this position. And again, her back is to the past. It's funny because, again, the moon would be confusion, and it's like she's going this direction. She finally is focusing on the future. She finally sees what she truly wants in her life. In the area of the past, you have the Ten of Wands. So you are releasing burdens. Again, when I put this card down, there you go, bing again. I don't know. Sorry, I apologize. By the way, I have my computer on silent. I don't even know why it's going off, so I apologize. But what I would say here with the Ten of Wands coming up in the past position is it's like you are releasing these burdens, but I feel like you had a lot of burdens. Remember what I said at the beginning of the reading as well about your mental state. I don't want it to sound like that. That sounds weird coming out of my mouth, but what I would say is that I feel you're kind of releasing the burdens of like other people's emotions, other people's feelings. It's like you're no longer taking on their energy any longer. And I feel like you're being very matter of fact about it. You have the King of Swords next. And the King of Swords is a very matter-of-fact energy. He makes a decision and that's it. It's very cut and dry with the King of Swords. And that's where I feel like you're at with this energy. So if there are people who are messing up your energy, like I said, I don't think you're necessarily cutting people out of your life, but I feel like you're being very matter-of-fact. I feel like you could be, drawing very strict boundaries with people in your life as well. You have the Temperance card coming up right next door to this Ten of Wands. So the Temperance card would tell me, and by the way, this is the position of your closest relationships, the Temperance card. That would kind of lead me to believe that this is going to cause a change, which is going to be positive for you as well, Aquarius. Next, in the near future, you have the King of Swords. Like I said, I get this very matter-of-fact energy from the King of Swords. I feel like you're making very quick, swift decisions with the King of Swords. I feel like you're kind of like telling it how it is. You're telling people like what you want, what you expect, and being very kind of matter-of-fact with this energy. I do feel that for some of you, this is either a person or an experience as well, the King of Swords energy that you're just not on the same page with any longer. It's like, I went like this because I feel like it's like you don't see eye to eye. It's like Queen of Swords, she's facing off into the future. King of Swords, he's dead on. But, again, I feel like for some of you, it's like you clearly don't see eye to eye. And even look at this, more juggling energy with the Two of Pentacles as well. Again, it's kind of funny how, I like laying the Celtic cross out like this because, it's like the story kind of all comes together and, like I said, I feel like your heart belongs to something else. Even the Two of Pentacles would say something very similar to that. So it's like you no longer see eye to eye with this. It doesn't matter if it's a person or an experience. And what I mean by experience is, it could be a job, a place that you live, a place that you experienced for a certain period of time. And it's like you're looking for a change. Things are building. In the next few months, you have the Two of Pentacles, and I will show you in the background, you can see these waves behind him. They kind of start off very small on this side over here, and then the waves get bigger as they move across the card. So I kind of see this as a building energy, as in the energy is building up. The energy is getting more and more intense. I feel like you're feeling a pull or draw towards something else in your life, something where your heart belongs to with that Four of Pentacles. Because right now, I wouldn't really say that you're out of alignment, but I always say the Four of Pentacles is my card of, I might as well call it my Greg Braden card. And there you go, more confirmation right there, Aquarius. We're just going to take that as confirmation, right? But Four of Pentacles says when your head and your heart become one, you'll move mountains. And again, Greg Braden says when your head and your heart become one, you'll move mountains. But right now, it's like your head and your feet are in alignment, but your heart is somewhere else. And what I would say to you is what I mean by this is like you could be looking at a job as something that provides stability, even though your heart is somewhere else. But it's like, are you really stable, or would moving towards your heart, would doing something that's more heart based actually bring you into alignment, which will actually create more abundance in your life? I really truly believe that, as terrible as COVID has been in general, that it kind of has woken people up to like your job can't take care of you, the government can't really take care of you, and so it's making us like a little bit more, I don't want to say self-reliant, although I do feel like it kind of is. I think it's meant to be more empowering, or that's how we should take it, right? We should make it into a positive at the very least, and say that it's kind of like empowering people to, take control of their own lives. And so that's what I see you doing here. But it's kind of like you're juggling here. But the energy is building, like I said, behind you. The Two of Pentacles, there's a figure 8 on the card as well, and that is the infinity symbol. The infinity symbol says where energy flows, energy goes, or whatever that saying is. Somebody knows what I'm talking about. But again, wherever you put your energy is what you're going to get back. So I would be focusing on exactly what you want with this Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is also my card of work hard, play hard. So whenever I get the Two of Pentacles, I always say it looks to me like you're actually going to be very busy. Wouldn't surprise me in part 2 of this reading, which again, that will be linked up down below. When we get there, it wouldn't surprise me to see more busyness, kind of like more busy energy. And I do feel like you're going to be getting more busy. In the area of your closest relationships, you have the Temperance card. I do feel like you're being very patient with people with the Temperance card, but I also feel that your relationships are changing with the Temperance card as well. It's like, I feel like you're being very matter of fact, like I said, with that King of Swords, and I feel like you're drawing very strict, like very, very quick boundaries is kind of how I'm seeing that. In the area of your future feelings, you have the Ace of Wands. Very common energy right now. Everybody's been getting the Ace of Wands. Doesn't really surprise me. Beginning of the year, we probably are all starting something new or looking to start something new. But I definitely feel there's like a good energy off this Ace of Wands. I feel like you're creating new things and creating a lot of abundance. I feel like there's a lot of growth here as well, but you're feeling very inspired. There's a major thing. There's something about your feelings in this reading is what I'm trying to get at. And I feel your feelings are extremely important to you. Maybe you're trying to protect your feelings from certain things, but I also feel like, really the best way to manifest is to feel something before you have it. So I do feel you are protecting your feelings. And finally, your outcome is the Hierophant. This could be marriage, but the Hierophant is kind of like a card of graduation. The Hierophant has 3 levels to the crown that is on his head. The 3 levels represent 3 levels of initiation. They represent initiation, apprenticeship, and then mastery. So I kind of get that for you, Aquarius. I feel like you're graduating, or you have learned some sort of lesson from life, and now you're kind of like moving on to the next level. What I would say is he's also making a symbol that represents a blessing with his hand. So I do feel, and that just popped into my head. I feel like there are blessings coming in for you, but I also feel like, let's say that your heart belongs to something else. Let's say you have a job and you hate it, and you're thinking about starting your, hamster factory or whatever it is that you're going to do, your worm farm. I don't care what you love, whatever it is you love to do. The Hierophant says, you know what? Maybe there are fears here. Maybe something is grounding you in reality with that 4 of Pentacles. Maybe something is keeping you stable. The Hierophant says, at least learn about something new. Maybe your heart belongs to something else or another person, right? The Hierophant says, at least learn about it. You don't have to actually go through with anything, but at least if you're gathering the information, you're kind of like doing something. We're going to pull an Oracle card here, and here you go. You have the Endless Possibilities card. So I do believe that there are endless possibilities for you here, Aquarius. But again, you're going to have to take action on these things, of course. And I would like move towards a new beginning. I kind of maybe like, if you're feeling anxiety or anything like that as well, like if your heart belongs to something else, which I believe it does in this reading, and again, this doesn't have to just be love, it could be anything, then I would say that there are probably endless opportunities for you to make it a reality. I always tell people, don't sell your dream short. It's like, if you told me, I don't know, I've had this channel for like 7 years now, crazy, and if you told me like 7 years ago when I started reading that I would be able to read like, professionally, whatever the hell that means, I would have told you you're freaking crazy. It's like, when I started on YouTube, there were no readers above 10,000 subscribers. And, I didn't even think that like 10,000 was a possibility, right? So it's like, you never know. You might have a crazy idea. Your idea might be to have a hamster farm, whatever. I don't care. And right now, it might not look like something that could be very successful. but you never know. It could become ridiculously successful. I think, like, even just think about a few years ago, it's like YouTube didn't exist. It's like now, if you had a hamster farm, you could have a YouTube channel and Instagram and all these things. You could be making money from all those things and probably be ridiculously successful with hamsters if you wanted to have a hamster farm. So, you know, it's like things that weren't possible like just 10 years ago are like way more possible today. And what's going to happen in the next 10 years? You know, it's probably going to be even crazier. So what I would say here is I feel like there are a lot of possibilities that maybe you just don't see yet. So I feel like that's why the Hierophant is saying at least educate yourself and you're probably going to be very successful. But that's that for part 1. Thank you for being here. Again, part 2 will be linked up down below. It's also going to be right here somewhere. I never know where this works on this video. So somewhere up here. But thank you, Aquarius, and definitely enjoy your week.